Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Album War. Today, as we come to the end of our double album battles, right, we've got two more on the pop side of things, all right, really good pop rock albums, classic albums that sold a shitload of copies, right? One sold in excess here in North America anyway, 10 million plus, the other 8 million plus. Call them what you want. Good rock and roll, soft rock, pop rock, little touches of prog on each one, right? We're talking about Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. There we go. And the Electric Light Orchestra's Out of the Blue. Okay. So I personally have a lot more history with one of these. Was it the first ever? I believe it was the first ever album I bought by this band. And it instantly made me a fan. I'm pretty sure it was. The other, I didn't really start getting into. Probably, let's talk about Elton John first. That's who I'm talking about here. So, I've always liked Elton John since I was a kid. I remember hearing all of Elton's hits on the radio. Of course, the AM radio was always playing in my parents' house while I was growing up or in the car, right? Always. And I remember hearing like all these hit songs. But I never actually owned any Elton John anything until probably I think I had those two greatest hits. I had those both on CD, I bought them in the 80s just because. And, but I actually didn't start buying Elton John albums on CD till probably the 90s. And in the last decade or so, I really started scooping up a lot of the catalog, even some of the later ones, even though the classic ones are from the 70s. So this album, released in 1973, a big success, spawned a lot of hit singles, okay? And while there are a couple kind of filler tracks on here, for the most part, this is a pretty dynamite album. It's got some legendary tunes on here. First of all, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. I mean, what a great way to kick off a double album. It's rockin', it's certainly proggy, right? This is probably the most prog rock Elton John ever got. A great kind of 1-2 punch anthem to start off the album. You got the instrumental, symphonic, prog rock extravaganza kicking it off, going right into the hard rockin' but catchy Funeral for a Friend. Love it. There's a reason Dream Theater remade those two tracks, right, on one of their recent little cover things. It's that good. Candle in the Wind is just a fucking lovely song. I don't know any other way to say it. I really love Candle in the Wind. That's just a great, great song, All about Marilyn, right? Goodbye, Norma Jean. Benny and the Jets, as silly as it is, it's still catchy as all hell. A classic Elton John tune. What do we have here? The Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, the title track. Gorgeous, melodic, right? What else? The song has no title. Decent, but one of those filler tracks. Gray Seal is awesome. I love Gray Seal, one of my favorite tunes from the album. And of course, I'm having a hard time reading the shit here, so we'll look it up here. Where did I leave off? Jamaica Jerk Off? That's okay. What else? I've seen that movie too. I like that tune. Sweet Painted Lady. That's kind of, I don't know. Sweet Painted Lady. There's a charm to that song that I always kind of dug. The Ballad of Danny Bailey. I like that song also. Dirty Little Girl is cool. All the Girls Love Alice. Love that tune. Great rockin' tune off of this album, and I think one of the most underrated Elton John songs of all time. Your Sister Can't Twist It, but She Can Rock and Roll. Fun tune. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, of course, one of his many rock and roll anthems. Great tune. Roy Rogers, Social Disease, and Harmony, all decent enough, right? But then I think some of the kind of deep album cuts are completely overshadowed by the big, massive hits. So there's a bunch of those on here. There's a handful of, really, really popular tunes on here, as well as another handful of really, really strong deep album cuts, and then there's the rest. But what's good on here is so damn good. Okay, great artwork too, right? So, again, a legendary album for a reason. All right, this is the album I was talking about. That was my first introduction to this band. I bought this when it came out, had not heard a single thing off of it, but of course, this was 77, so I was, 11? Who could resist that album cover art? because I was a sucker for album cover art. And as a kid, I was a big like sci-fi and fantasy fan, right? So when you see this kind of bright and colorful spaceship on the front cover of a rock album, all right, I was like, I got to have it. I'll give it a shot, right? Bought it, loved it. Then went out and got, New World Record and Face the Music and so on and so forth. And that was my beginning of my journey to Jeff Lynne's ELO, right? So another album, a lot of great tunes, couple filler tunes, but overall a really fantastic album, well produced, a lot of great instrumentation, all the different kind of synthesizers and keyboards and things, the orchestrations and the strings and great vocals, lots of catchy harmonies, whatever. Turn to Stone. When you were gone, I turned to stone. Dun, 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 dun. Love that song. A great opener. It's over. It's over. What can I do? There's a obviously as the 70s started to wear down, this kind of little underpinning of, pop and disco music would infiltrate the music of ELO. I didn't mind it though, because it was just, the music was just so damn catchy. So got a little bit of that running through some of these songs, and on the next album, Discovery, it would even come out even more. Sweet Talking Woman, all right, again, kind of a poppy tune, kind of got some disco beats going on, but a damn catchy song. Across the Border, I like that tune a lot. That's got some nice flavors to it. Night in the City, great tune. Got some little bit of funk and R&B going on in that song. Starlight, great tune. Jungle, kind of silly, but good rockin' tune. Believe Me Now. Stepping Out. I'm stepping out. Good song. Then, you've got Concerto for a Rainy Day. There's some great stuff here. And this would be side 3, okay, of the original LP. Standing in the Rain. Great tune. Probably one of my favorites from this album. So dramatic. Big Wheels Turning. Baby I Know. Summer and Lightning, also fantastic. And of course, the concerto concludes with Mr. Blue Sky, which, if not the most popular song off this album, one of the top 3. It's fantastic. Sweet as the Night, great pop tune. The Whale, an amazing instrumental, which shows the genius of Richard Tandy on various keyboards and things. Birmingham Blues, bluesy rocker, good solid tune. And then, of course, you got Wild West Hero kind of taking us all out. Another really cool kind of bluesy rock tune. So kind of a little bit of everything on this album, right? And a lot of stuff, good stuff on this album. So what do I think? Well, this is really tough for me because my heart tells me, well, you got to go with the album that you've been listening to and loving for, how many years now? 42 years? It's a long time ago, right? But I've just really loved this album over like the last 20 or so. So do I go with history or do I go with what's been grabbing me more lately? Okay. I'm going to cop out today. I can't make a decision. Over on our Facebook page, where we have the poll going for these 2 albums, I've already changed my vote numerous times. And I could, because I just can't make a decision. I can't make a decision. Like I said, if I were purely going to go to which album's got the most history with me, with the one that I've probably listened to the most, it would have to be this one. But there's some songs on here that are just so special, and I've really become an Elton John fan over the last 20 years or so. So I'm going to call a draw today. I'm going to take the cop out. It's a 12-round fight, goes back and forth, but in the end, myself and the other 2 judges just can't seem to pick a winner because it's just so evenly matched. Both albums have such great material on them, and pop rock at its finest right here, folks. So you could say what you want about either, maybe both albums being a little on the bloated side, and that could be true, but there's no denying that 3/4 of what's on either album is just absolutely fantastic, legendary, stupendous, amazing, and I love it. So it's a draw today, guys. Pick 'em. Let us know what you think, all right, in the comments below. Do you favor Out of the Blue or do you favor Goodbye Yellow Brick Road? They're both great. They're both kind of different albums, but they're both, so fantastic for what they are. And again, there's no winners or losers here. It's just time to talk about two great albums and why we love them so much. If you haven't heard one or the other or both, and I'd be surprised if we have anybody falls into that category, your homework today is to go, whether you do it here on YouTube or somewhere else, listen to these, fall in love with them for the first time, or if you're someone who's heard them many, many times over your life but haven't spun either one in a while, now's a great time to do so, right? This is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube every day. So what do we got going on in the programming? We are going to continue with the classic album Double Wars into this weekend. All right, so we got them all set to go. We got one for tomorrow, one for Sunday. Starting on Monday, which is Labor Day here in the U.S., right, we're going to go for a month or more classic live album battles. All right, so that's what's coming up starting on Monday. There's a lot of great ones. I got so many to choose from, so we're going to try and get to as many as we possibly can and try and exhaust what's in my collection anyway. If it takes us a month or if it takes us 2 months, that's fine, because I dig live albums, so we're going to go as far as we can take it. What else is in the programming? I should hopefully have for you the History of Southern Rock episode sometime this weekend, maybe Monday, we'll see. I'm kind of putting the fine-tuned things, final touches on that. In addition, shortly after you guys see this episode, I'm going to be hopping in the car, heading to Jeff Young's place. We're going to be putting together top 10 songs for Bebop Deluxe and Angel. So you don't want to miss either one of those from Jeff's place, all right? And, I'm sure we'll have, hopefully a question and answer this weekend, right? So that's a lot of stuff for you guys to take in, all right? But as you know, we're trying to give you as much programming as possible here. And we'll just keep dishing it out. So we'll see you guys again real soon. Don't touch that dial. Take care. Bye-bye.